Hello and welcome to another episode of Geared Toward Gear. My name is Sean and I am so glad you're here. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to join me. It means a lot. I know your time's valuable, so I'm going to try my best to keep this video 10 minutes or less. Let's see if I can do that. Okay, stop talking, Sean. Let's do it. So today we're looking at a pen, three varieties, 1, 2, 3 of the same pen. And that pen is, of course, the Refyne EP1. It ships in a cardboard tube that makes just the most satisfying sound when you open it. I love that sound. It's the little things in life. So that's how it ships. And let's do a quick flyby of the titanium version here and just give you a closer look-see at the pen. It is a bolt action style ballpoint pen, and it comes in a few different varieties. We've got titanium and we have stainless steel. These are both PVD coated, either gunmetal gray, which is probably my favorite, or black. And this is sort of a matte black or like a satin finish. Looks really excellent. So that's the EP1. Let's talk dimensions and price. Then we'll do a couple size comparisons, talk about how you could maybe carry them. Then we will do a full disassembly. So let's start with dimensions. The length on the EP1 is 4.5 inches and the diameter is 0.4 inches. The weight for the titanium version is going to be under an ounce at like 0.88 ounces, and the stainless variety is going to be just over an ounce at about 1.2. So not a heavy pen by any means, regardless of which variety you happen to prefer. So there's your dimensions. The price tag for the stainless varieties is $39.99, and these can be had from Refyne's website or from Amazon.com here in the US. I will leave links to both of those down below. The titanium version is $64.99, which, as I've researched and looked at other pens of this style, I find that to be a pretty darn good price. Most of the other ones I see in this style in titanium are going for between $75 and like $150. So I think this would be considered like an entry-level budget titanium bolt action pen. And I think they are fan-freaking-tastic. I've been carrying all three of these pretty regularly, almost exclusively for about 6 weeks, and have had a great experience with them. So I wanted to share them with you. So there's your specs, there's your price. Let's do a couple size comparisons. We're going to kind of treat this like a knife review as far as the format. So let's compare this to a couple of kind of full-size pens. And we'll start with the Zebra F701, a personal favorite and Hall of Famer in my book. It's going to be notably larger. Here's a Zebra F301. Again, full-size pen, notably longer than the Refyne EP1. Now let's look at a couple smaller pens. Here's the Zebra F301 Compact, which is notably shorter than the EP1. And here is a Fisher Space Pen, a Bullet, and it is also going to be quite a bit shorter than the EP1. So it's kind of in this medium size category that I didn't personally own prior to these pens, which I've really come to appreciate. Here is a Pilot G2 Mini, which is a gel pen, which is not my preference, but it is the closest in size that I have to the EP1. It's a bit shorter, but it's pretty darn close. So there's some size comparisons. And I went through my entire pen mug, and yes, I said pen mug, and I'll show it to you actually. It's sitting right here. I'm a dork, and I like pens, but I also like NASA and astrophysics, and I'm seriously a dork. But I live in Texas, and so NASA. Anyway, I went through my whole pen mug, and I didn't have anything that really kind of matched up to the EP1 as far as size. So it's a size that I didn't really know that I needed or wanted, but I really love the size. I wear an extra large sized mechanics glove. I have a true XL size hand, and it fits my hand just fine. Plenty of room right in the webbing here to accommodate a pen of this size. It does not have any knurling or texture of any kind. They are just smooth throughout, which I have no problem with personally. I don't do a ton of writing If I'm going to sit down and write pages and pages, I'm probably not going to use this, but that's just not how I use my pens for EDC. I take notes during conference calls at work on a pad of paper such as this, or I'll carry a small notebook with me in something like this little notebook wallet or in this Shadowborn Hanks organizer, and I'll take notes or sketch things and whatnot. So I'm not doing a ton of writing in terms of volume, and so it's perfectly comfortable. It's got a 0.4-inch diameter, which I think I mentioned, so there's plenty of purchase there. It feels secure. It does not at all feel slippery or slick like it's going to leave my hand, so no issues there. As I mentioned, it is a bolt action style pen, so there is your bolt, just a flick of the thumb, and you are deployed, ready to write. Same thing, and you are retracted. Super fun, very fidget friendly. I had never handled one. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. These things are super fun, and I get why they're popular. I also like that they are not crazy, like in your face, gaudy, fancy, pretentious. They're pretty utilitarian, but I do like this little pop of color with the copper barrel that is in there that accommodates the bolt action mechanism, but it doesn't patina. This copper, I think, has a thin candy shell. Just kidding, a thin layer of like a lacquer finish, which you could sand off and it would patina, but it has stayed nice and bright and coppery. So that is the EP1. The pocket clip is tops. It is a wonderful pocket clip. It carries super deep, accommodates thick material in and out of the pocket super easily, and it's probably one of the better, if not the best, pocket clips that I have on any pen that I own. So they've really just been a pleasure to use, and the cartridge they come with, which we'll see in just a second, is fantastic. So we're going to disassemble this guy, show you all the parts and some of the cool features as we take this thing down. And what's really fun is that it uses T6 Torx for disassembly. So for us knife people, we're used to using our our T6 and our knife maintenance kits, and so I think that's kind of fun. The bolt here is just a T6 Torx screw, and I was a little concerned at first that they would back out or potentially back out and fall out, and I would lose it, rendering the pen useless. That did not happen, not even a little bit on any of these, and I'll explain why once we get this fully disassembled. We'll take off this top cap here, which is just a larger Torx screw, remove the pocket clip. We will take off the tip, which does have an O-ring seal that seats very nicely. We will take out the spring. We will take out the, if I can not lose everything, take out the cartridge, which is a Schmidt Easyflow 9000, a very high quality German-made ink cartridge, which is one of my personal favorites. But it will also take any Parker style refill, and there are probably 100 different Parker style refills out there. So here is why the bolt is not going to back out, or at least I'm not concerned at all about it. There is a lot of thread. There's a lot of thread on this that's going to interface with this barrel. I mean, it really sinks in there quite deep once you turn this thing all the way in. There's far more thread inside this barrel than there is, the head of the screw on the other side. So again, it was zero concern of mine whatsoever. So I didn't even entertain the thought of like adding a Loctite or something like that. So to reassemble, we will take the barrel, we'll take the kind of the copper barrel here, put the cartridge on it like so, and we'll just slide it in and kind of align it with that notch for the bolt action mechanism until we can see that hole, and there it is. Now we will take our T6 bolt screw, get it on our driver here, and we'll just kind of get it started just enough so that the that copper barrel doesn't just fall out of the pen. Just a few turns and we are good. We will add our spring. We will screw on the tip, which again has a nice rubber O-ring there. and it seats really nicely. Boom, nice. I've been messing with like all my pens today, and so there's pen all over me. So now we'll put this bolt in the rest of the way. Snug it down until it just completely seats, and then just maybe another 30-second of a turn. We're going to be a little over 10 minutes, but it's okay. On the top here, you're going to notice a little, dare I say, nipple sticking out, as you can see there. And that's going to interface with this little kind of keyhole on the top of the pocket clip so that the clip can only go in one orientation and it will not twist around the pen. So you can see what that looks like right there. So good design feature, I think. Take this top cap, give it a couple turns with the hand, seat it the rest of the way with our Torx driver. Once it's seated, again, just maybe a 64th of a turn, and that thing is solid as a rock, going nowhere. So that is your assembly, disassembly of the EP1. Just a great pen, and I think a great value for the design, for the features, for the quality of construction, the quality of the cartridge that it comes with, again, compared to similar pens on the market. We'll do a quick write test, and we will close this out. And when people say that a pen writes well, that's always going to be the result of the cartridge or the ink that's being used in the pen. How it feels, you know, in your hand and in the comfort, that's pretty subjective. But what actually writes is the cartridge. So this Schmidt Easyflow, with virtually no force or effort, just puts down a nice black line. It truly does flow easily. So a very appropriate name for the Schmidt Easyflow. And if you want to put a little more pressure on it, like you probably would, it's going to put down just a nice, thick, rich black line. And I just personally love the Schmidt Easyflow 9000. So that is it, the Refyne EP1 pen. And just for an example, this fits just fine in this wallet. The same way the Space Pen did. Even though the Space Pen is significantly smaller, it still doesn't extend beyond the ends of this wallet. Or in my Shadowborn Hanks trip slip, this thing will bury itself all the way in here and basically disappear, which is super convenient, and I keep a little notebook on the backside. In contrast to something like an F701, if I can find one in my mug. Where'd I put the F701? Where'd you go? Here's one. Now it's an F402, who cares? It's gonna protrude, right? It's gonna stick out of the slip. So again, just a good size. I think that 4.5-inch length is just perfect for EDC. I really do. So Refyne EP1, highly recommended. I'll leave links below to their website and to Amazon if you want to explore this and pick one up for yourself. If it were me and I were making a recommendation, I would say go for a stainless with a PVD coating, a little heavier, but $25 cheaper. If you want titanium and you're trying to get into a bolt action style pen in titanium, and you don't want to drop $100, $64.99 is certainly a fair price. So that is it. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to join me. I really do appreciate it. Glad to be back doing videos. Tomorrow, or today, depending on when you watch this, is my birthday, February 27th, which is tomorrow. I'm filming this on the 26th. So for those of you that found this video because you searched for it, you probably don't care. And those of you who are subscribers may not either, but I just thought I'd let you know. Tomorrow's my birthday. Gonna do some stuff with the family, so pretty excited about that. So again, thanks for taking valuable time out of your day to join me. More videos to come. We'll talk again soon. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.